paragraph page 480. Okay, and our last head word was fortnight, the newer type of lesson. Okay,
Mm,
so let's start with revision. Ready?
okay.
Okay, here we go. First question. Do you think that the possibility of another world war is a serious matter? Do you think that the possibility of another world war is a serious matter? Yes, I think
Yes,
that
I assume
the
that the
possibility
possibility
of
of
another
another
world
world war
war is a
is a
serious
serious
matter.
matter.
Birgit, are you interested in political matters? Are you interested in political matters? Yes or no?
Mm, yes, I'm
I'm in
interested in political
political matters.
matters.
Very good. How long do you expect to continue living in the place where you live now? How long do you expect to continue living in the place where you live now? I expect to
I
continue
expect
living
to continue to
in the
living
place
in
where
the
I live
place
now
where I
for
live now
about.
for about 10 years.
Very good. In Callan Method lesson, do you expect the teacher to correct the student's mistakes? In a Callan Method lesson, do you expect the teacher to correct the student's mistakes? Yes. In a
Yes,
Callan
if
Method
one
lesson, I
lesson,
expect the
I
teacher
expect the
to
teacher
correct the
to
student's
to
mistake.
learn mistakes.
Very good. When do we use a tell question? When do we use a tell question? We use a
We
tell
use
question
or tell
when we
questions
believe
when we
something is
believe
true
that something is
and we
true,
want somebody
and we want
to
somebody
confirm that we
to
are right,
confirm that we were
that we are right.
that we are right.
Very good. How do we form a tell question? How do we form a tell question? We form a tell
We
question
form our
by
tell
repeating
questions
the
by
first
repeating the first auxiliary
auxiliary verb
verbs
from the main part of the
in the
sentence
word for the sentence.
and putting it in question form.
Okay, and
In question form.
questions for
Give me an example. Give me an example, please. He is going
we
to
are
go
going
out
to go
tonight,
out
isn't
tonight.
he?
It's
Very good. Okay, now I will say something and I want you to repeat it and add a tail question. Remember that if the main part of the sentence is positive, the tail question is negative and vice versa. Okay, here we go. He's a young man. He's a young man. He's a young man.
a young man,
Isn't he?
isn't he?
He isn't a young man. He isn't a young man. He isn't
He
a
isn't a
young man.
young man, is
Is
he?
he? Very good. You've got a very nice kitchen. You've got a very nice kitchen. You've got.
You've got a very nice kitchen, haven't you?
Very good. You haven't got a very nice kitchen. You haven't got a very nice kitchen. You haven't got
You haven't got
a
a very
very
nice
nice
kitchen,
kitchen.
have you?
Very good. You can sing. You can sing. You can sing.
I
Can't
think,
you?
can you?
You can't sing. You can't sing. You can't
You
sing.
can't,
Can you?
can you?
He'll be afraid. He'll be afraid. He'll be
He'll
afraid.
be
Won't he?
afraid, won't he?
He won't be afraid. He won't be afraid. He won't be
He won't
afraid.
be afraid,
Will he?
will he?
Wege, they would be hungry. They would be hungry. They would be hungry.
They would be
Would
hungry,
they?
wouldn't they?
Very good. They wouldn't be hungry. They wouldn't be hungry. They wouldn't be
They
hungry.
would be hungry,
Would they?
would they?
Very good. When there is no auxiliary verb in the main part of the sentence, which verb do we use in the tell question? When there is no auxiliary verb in the main
No
part of
clear
the
words
sentence, which verb do
in
we
the
use
main
in the
part of
tell
the sentence.
question? When there is no
There is no
auxiliary
auxiliary
verb
verb
in
in
the
the
main
main part
part
of
of the
the
sentence,
sentence.
we use do
We
in the tell
in the
question.
table.
Give me an example. Give me an example, please. They come every Thursday,
Our
don't they?
Thursday, don't they?
Very good. If you had the right by law to do whatever you wished, what did you do? If you had the right by law to do whatever you wished, what did you do? If I had the right by
You
law
have
to
the right
do
alone
whatever I
to
wished,
whatever I
I'd,
wished. Uh,
what would you do? I'd travel around the world for free.
mm, and enjoy with my friends.
Okay, very good. The newspapers have the legal right to print stories that aren't true. Do newspapers have the legal right to print stories that aren't true? No. Newspapers
My
don't have the
newspapers
legal right
don't have the
to
legal
print
right
stories that
to
aren't
print
true.
stories that aren't true.
Very good. What's the difference between the words onto and On. What's the difference between the words on and onto? The difference between the words
Between the
on and
words
onto
on and
is
on
that
to
we can
is
use
that
the word
we
on
can use
for
the words
things
on
that
for
are
things
moving or
that
still,
move or stills,
whereas we can use the
whereas we
word
can use
onto
the words
only
on
for
to
things that are
only for
moving.
things that are moving.
Very good. Do you think you could jump onto the table with both your feet together? Do you think you could jump onto the table with both your feet together? Yes or no?
Mm.
Yes or no? Can you jump over the table with both your feet together? Yes or no?
Yes,
I think I could jump
I think
onto
I
the
could
table
jump on the
with
table
both my feet
with
together.
both my feet together.
Have you ever tried to do something like that? Have you ever tried to do something like that? Yes or no?
Yes, I'll try to do something like that.
Very good. Okay. Do you know how to tie a tie? Do you know how to tie a tie? Yes or no?
Yes, I know how to tie a tie.
Very good. In the past, was the government of a country generally elected by the people? In the past, was the government of a country generally elected by the people? No. In the past,
No, in the
the
past,
government
the
of a
government
country
of a country
wasn't
and
generally elected by the
wasn't
people.
elected by the people.
Very good. Okay. What does the word what does the structure to have something done communicate? What does the structure to have something done communicate? The structure to have something
The
done
structure
communicate
of something that
that we don't
communicate
do the action
that we don't do
ourselves,
the action
but that
ourselves,
somebody else
but if somebody
does it
else
for us.
if it was
Give me an example. Give me an example, please. I don't cut my hair myself.
with myself
I have my
myself.
hair cut
I
by a
have my hair
hairdresser.
or hairdresser.
Do you clean your shoes yourself or do you have them cleaned by someone else? Do you clean your shoes yourself or do you have them cleaned by someone else? I clean my shoes
For
myself.
myself,
What can we use instead of the verb to have? What can we use instead of the verb to have? We can use the verb
I can
to
say
get
with the verb
instead
to
of the
get
verb to
get
have.
over the verb to have.
Very good. Do very young children sometimes get their homework done for them by their parents? Do very young children sometimes get their homework done for them by their parents? Yes. Very young children
Your
sometimes
children
get their
or
homework
sometimes
done for them
homework done
by
for
their
them
parents.
by their parents.
Very good. Do you think governments generally have too much power? Do you think governments generally have too much power? Yes or no?
Yes,
I think
I think
governments generally
that
have
can
too much power.
have too much power.
Very good. Who do you think is the most powerful person in your country? Who do you think is the most powerful person in your country? I think the
I
prime
think
minister
the prime
is
minister
the most
is
powerful
the
person
most powerful
in my
person
country.
in my country.
Do laptops use more power than desktop computers? Do laptops use more power than desktop computers? No. Laptops
No,
don't use
laptop
more power
don't use
than
more
desktop
power
computers.
than personal computers.
Very good. Okay. Do you spend all your money or do you try to save some and put it in the bank? Do you spend all your money or do you try to save some and put it in the bank? I don't spend all my
I
money.
spend all
I
my
try to
money
save some
on
and
the
put
save
it in
some
the bank.
and put it into the bank.
Megan, if you saw someone in difficulty in the sea, how would you try to save their life? If you saw someone in difficulty in the sea, how would you try to save their life? If I saw someone
I
in
saw
difficulty
salmon
in the sea,
in difficulty
I
in the
try to
sea.
save their life
I
by
see them by
how would you say
mm,
calling
calling you, mm,
yeah, calling the Coast Guard.
calling the coast guard.
Very good. What does an old man carry to save himself from falling over while walking? What does an old man carry to save himself from falling over while walking? An old man
One
carries a
man
walking
who
stick
carries a walking
to save
sticks
himself
to
from
save
falling
himself
over
from
while walking.
over
While
walking
walking. While walking.
while walking.
Very good. Would you save any time if you use a different means of transport to come to school? Would you save any time if you use a different means of transport to come to school? Yes or no?
Yeah.
Would you save any
Yeah.
time? Yes or no?
Yes.
I'd save some time
I say
if I
sometimes
use a different
I
means
use
of
a
transport
different cheese or
to
transport.
come to school.
They come to school
When you close a computer program, does it
because
usually
your
remind you to
problem
save your work first? When you close a computer program, does it usually remind you to save your work first? Yes. When I close
was
a
in a
computer
course
program,
and computer
it
program.
usually reminds
This
me
usually
to
reminds
save
me
my work first.
to see my work first.
Very good. What kind of things does your country mainly trade in? What kind of things does your country mainly trade in? My country
I
mainly
can't
trades in.
remember, but in
What does your country trade?
rice,
Rice.
rice
Very good. What do we usually mean by a trade? What do we usually mean by a trade? By a trade, we
by a
usually
trace
mean a
usually
job
means
that a
a
person
job
does
that
mainly
that's mainly
with their hands and for which
with and for
they need a
which
special
they
skill.
need a special skill.
Very good. What's one of the best paid trades in your country? What's one of the best paid trades in your country? One of the best
One
paid
of the
trades
best
in my
trade
country
trades in the
is a
country
builder.
or brother.
Very good. What's the difference between the word close and close? What's the difference between the words close and close? The difference between
Yes,
the words
between the
close
bars
and close
close and
is that
closed
close
is
is a
a
verb
close
meaning
above
shut,
the shop.
whereas close
The
is
arms
an
closed
adjective
is the
meaning
the
near.
near.
What's the closest you've ever been to real danger? What's the closest you've ever been to real danger? The closest I've
The
ever been
closest I ever
to
been
real danger
to green
was
wager
when
was when
I was almost hit.
I was hit.
I was
I
almost
was I was almost hit
by a car.
by a car.
Very good. If you went for a trip to New York, what would you see? If you went on a trip to New York, what would you see? If I went
If I
on a
went
trip to
to
New York,
one trip New
I'd
York,
see
I see
the
statue
Statue of
of the
Liberty,
Liberty, yeah,
Times Square, etc. Okay.
etc.
When people go on business trips, do their companies usually pay for everything? When people go on business trips, do their companies usually pay for everything? Yes. When people go
Yes,
on
when
business
people go
trips,
on
their
business
companies
trips and
usually
companies
pay for everything.
have paid for everything.
Which would you prefer? An exciting trip to a big city for the weekend or a quiet fortnight on the beach? Which would you prefer? An exciting trip to a big city for the weekend or a quiet fortnight on the beach? I'd prefer
I prefer to see the movie, uh,
which one? Big city.
big city.
Very good. Okay, so that's the end of our revision. Let's have new word. Okay, repeat every now and again.
Every now and again.
Very good. Okay, listen. Every now and again means every once in a while or occasionally. For example, it's a good idea to give one's house a thorough cleaning from top to bottom every now and again. Let's practice. What does the expression every now and again mean in Japanese? What does the expression every now and again mean in Japanese? The expression
The
every now and
expression
again
every now
means
and again means
tokidoki in Japanese.
Tokidoki in Japanese.
Is it a good idea to give one's house a thorough cleaning from top to bottom every now and again? Is it a good idea to give one's house a thorough cleaning from top to bottom every now and again? Yes, it's a good idea
Yeah, it's a
to
good
give one's
idea.
house
Maybe
a
one
thorough
house
cleaning
for
from
clinic
top to bottom every
important
now
data
and again.
every now and again.
Very good. Next, repeat no longer.
No longer.
Very good. Okay, listen. No longer means not anymore or any longer. For example, I give away clothes that I no longer wear. Let's practice. What do you do with clothes that you no longer wear? What do you do with clothes that you no longer wear? I give away clothes
I give over
that
clothes.
I no longer
I
wear.
know the word
Very good. Next repeat. Island.
island.
Very good. Listen. An island is a noun. It is a piece of land completely surrounded by water. For example, the Philippines is made up of many islands like Cebu Island, Bohol Island, etc. Let's practice. What's an island? What's an island? An island
The
is a piece
island
of land
is a piece of land
completely surrounded by water.
surrounded by water.
Very good. Next, repeat. Ocean,
Ocean,
Atlantic,
Atlantic,
Pacific,
Pacific,
Indian.
Indian,
Very good. Okay, listen. Ocean is a very large quantity of sea. For example, Atlantic Ocean, Pacific Ocean, Indian Oceans are the names of the major oceans. Okay, let's practice. Name me some oceans. Name me some oceans, please. The names of some
the name of
oceans
some
are the
oceans
Atlantic
are
Ocean,
the Atlantic
the
Ocean,
Pacific Ocean,
Pacific
and
Ocean,
the
and
Indian Ocean.
Pacific Ocean, and Indian Ocean.
Very good. Next, repeat screen,
Screen,
DVD,
liquidity,
or DVD,
DVD,
CD.
city,
Very good. Okay, listen. Screen is a noun. It is the part of a television or computer where the picture or information appears. For example, I'm looking at you on my computer screen. DVD is a noun. It is an abbreviation for digital video disc used for storing and playing music, films, or information. For example, the film is now out on videos and DVD. CD is a noun. It is abbreviation of compact disc, a small plastic disc on which data or music is stored. For example, we some we sometimes listen to music on CDs. Let's practice. Do you prefer to watch films at home on DVD or at the cinema on a big screen? Do you prefer to watch films at home on DVD or at the cinema on the big screen? I prefer to watch
of the
films
world, stills,
where? At home or the cinema?
mm, at home works,
At home on
at home,
DVD,
on DVDs,
then at the cinema on the
then
big
on the scene,
screen.
on the big screen.
Do you buy CDs and DVDs more often in the shops or online? Do you buy CDs and DVDs more often in the shops or online? I buy CDs and
On my
DVDs
CDs and
more often
DVDs,
online.
more often online.
Is it bad for your eyes to look at a computer screen for too long? Is it bad for your eyes to look at a computer screen for too long? Yes, it's bad for
Yes,
your
it's
eyes
bad for
to
our
look at
eyes
a
to
computer
look
screen
at computer
for too
screens
long.
for too long.
Very good. Okay, so now let's move on to reading.
Pretty.
Yeah, reading. Okay, so our reading is at stage 6, paragraph page 458. Okay, and our last head
Mm.
word was roughly. Okay, please start at page 459. Ground, level, underground.